What's up, Michigan fans? Welcome back to the Amazing Bluebeard Podcast, your daily podcast for all things Michigan football, Michigan basketball, and all Michigan sports. Thanks for hanging out with me and taking some time out of your day to talk a little Michigan Wolverines. My name's Chris. I appreciate you. We got a lot to get to today. Jason Beck, Michigan football's offensive coordinator, got his turn to do a spring practice press conference, and we're going to break down everything that he had to say, including some pretty awesome stuff about the offense that you got to get excited about. And then I've got a great piece of recruiting news. Michigan has their first commitment under Kyle Whittingham, and it's a player I've talked a lot about, which makes me feel even better. So we'll talk about that. And of course, at the end of the video, we'll wrap it up with the results to yesterday's question of the day. All that and more on this episode of the Amazing Bluebeard Podcast. Let's go blue, and let's get to it. Before we dive into Jason Beck's press conference and what he said and break it all down for you, I just wanted to let you know that I will be live tonight on another YouTube channel. I've been asked to go on the channel The Heavy Hitters. It'll be linked in the description down below, as well as the link for the live stream that I'll be on tonight. It is a group of guys who are Atlanta Falcons fans, but the Don reached out to me, and he is a Michigan fan as well. He wants me to come on and talk about Jayshon Barham and how his fit could be with the Falcons, why he would be a great player. I'm going to say why I think he'll be a good fit for my Detroit Lions. But I'm going to be on there talking with him. I can't wait to talk some Michigan sports, talk the NFL draft. It's going to be a blast. So hang out with us, join there, subscribe to those guys. I've been checking out their content. They're awesome. But tonight, 9:00 p.m., hopefully you can make it in there. I'd love to see you guys there. But let's get to the press conference. Jason Beck had his turn. Kyle Whittingham went first. Then last week, Jay Hill went, the defensive coordinator, and now Jason Beck had his turn. And here's some of the cool things that he had to say. Again, his press conference, the video will be linked in the description down below, so you can check it out and listen to it for yourself. But I'll give you the blow-by-blow so you can hear what he had to say. So last year, we all remember we were excited about Bryce Underwood coming in, and they asked Sharon Moore, what do you do when you have a running quarterback? Are you going to run him? Are you going to let him use his feet and his athleticism? And Sharon Moore said, well, if you're going to do that, you better have two quarterbacks. And they never really seemed to let Bryce Underwood let him be loose and run and create and do what he's capable of. And a lot of things stunted his growth, but that seemed to be one of the things. And they didn't have a lot of depth behind him, which didn't help either. So this time, this is why I already feel so much better about this new coaching staff. When asked a similar thing, Jason Beck said this. He said, much like Kyle Whittingham had said when asked about Bryce Underwood, Jason Beck said he has a philosophy on QBs. Do what they do best. I love hearing that. He said if they can run, it's a weapon, and they'll be fine. If guys aren't good runners, then they can get themselves hurt. But if guys are good runners, they're comfortable doing that, and they excel at it, and you have good success. That's just part of playing the position. You do have to be smart about it. You don't want to run your quarterback 25 times a game, like a bell cow, unless you've got a bye week or something to get him back. But it does seem to be a part of Bryce's skill set, like doing some of the QB run game. When he pulls it down and goes, it looks very impressive. And it's hard to defend. We know that. We know that Michigan has struggled with running quarterbacks. Even when we had good defenses, it can be tough, especially when you have a dynamic runner and somebody that's a load like Bryce Underwood is to bring down. That adds to it as well. So stressing out a defense, that's huge. Making them not only worry about these great receivers we have, the great running backs in the backfield, but now the quarterback too. If you're not careful and you don't seal the edge or you leave a gap, he can just take off and be gone. That just adds a whole nother layer, and it's great to hear that they're going to embrace that and let it be a part of his game and not stifle him and try to make him fit into a box. I love hearing that. Then they asked him about Andrew Marsh, and he said that Bryce Underwood and Andrew Marsh have a nice chemistry going. I don't know if it's from working together last year, but that's definitely part of it. What I've seen is some guys just see things the same way and they have a connection naturally. These two seem to have that. In other words, the quarterback can anticipate what he's doing and they're on the same page quite a bit. So you're always trying to develop chemistry with receivers, but everywhere I've been, a quarterback just seems to have good chemistry with a certain guy. So, of course, they were awesome last year. They came in together. They gelled together. And a lot of times in games, when Bryce Underwood needed to make a play and was looking for someone to make a play, he went for Andrew Marsh. And now I don't see that changing a lot. He's got a lot more weapons, which is going to help either way. It's either going to make Andrew Marsh have opportunities because they got to worry about other guys, or he's going to be able to find other guys because Andrew Marsh is going to be double covered or blanketed. So I love that their chemistry is continuing to grow and that the new coaching staff sees it right away. I cannot wait to see what they do with this new offense and coaching staff. And then they talked about J.J. Buchanan, how he has Jason Beck talked about how he's impressed in the early going as a freak who makes plays. And someone asked if he was going to play in the slot, outside, or where he'd play. And Beck said, with our receivers, we move them all over. So they'll play inside, outside, left, right. JJ's in that. He's much more that than he is a tight end. When he came to Utah, everybody kind of listed him as a tight end, but he's 98% a receiver. He had a 2-point stance flexed out, so he can maybe come in a little bit once in a while, but he's in that receiver room, and he'll play all those different spots, moving around. So interesting to hear him still talk about him maybe playing some tight end and playing on the inside. That's very interesting to me. Some people have compared it to maybe the way Colson Loveland was used last year, how he could be a matchup problem for linebackers and slot corners that are used to covering a traditional, more tight end. So it'll be interesting. They're going to move him all over the place, which is when we first got him, what I kind of said way back during transfer portal season when he was signed, when I thought he was going to play more tight end, but he'd be all over the field as a receiver. Now I think he'll be more receiver, but I think they will throw him in that tight end spot at times, depending on matchups and the teams they're playing and the situation and all that. And with the receivers, they got French, Moa, and all the holdovers from last year who are going to get more of a chance. I'm just really pumped about this wide receiver room and the tight ends. And Buchanan is a big part of that. I cannot wait to see what he will do. Nobody got a chance to ask him about tight ends specifically, but rumblings and what they've heard from the staff and from people in the know is that Hogan Hansen is off to a great start in the tight end room. So that's good to hear. Hopefully he can stay healthy because I think he could be really good. When asked about their identity and what that would be, he said it's really early in the process with that. We will be figuring that out, but it's just a matter of putting out some general baseline things and getting to work. And then as guys emerge, start evolving and heading down those paths to specifically tailor the offense to who their playmakers and major contributors will be. Yeah, he talked again about Andrew Marsh. He said he makes plays and has an impact. Jordan Marshall makes plays and does a really nice job. We know what we have in J.J. Buchanan. He's showing that to everybody here. So it's just a matter of who's making plays, who can you trust, what do you trust, or who do you trust getting their job done for everybody on the field and then adapting that way. He said, today we got a little tackle work in, and really none of it matters until it's live bullets and tackling. That's when you evaluate them at the highest level. And so we're just in the process of seeing where it goes, but we have really good players. We have plenty of guys to take looks at and see what they can do. And then just specifically more, diving in more what he said about Bryce Underwood. This is what he said when he was talking about Bryce Underwood. He said, I'll tell you what, I was really impressed. He is a really hard worker. When we got here in the winter, he was one of the hardest workers on the team, in the weight room and on the field. So there are a lot of great qualities there that allows you to develop the kind of player. And his teammates really respect him because of that work ethic they're seeing every day. I love hearing how hard Bryce is working. The goal this spring is for the Michigan staff to work closely with Underwood in a number of areas. Then he said, to play at this level in the Big Ten as a true freshman is really hard. So just the ability that he went through the whole year doing that is, in that kind of situation, we all know what he means, everything going on with Sharon Moore, and being a freshman, you absolutely will have ups and downs, but to be able to do that was impressive. We just want him to get a lot of reps, a lot of work, try to build around a skill set, and be able to see him look comfortable. I love hearing that because he looked uncomfortable all year because they tried to put him in this box and they just never let him. Well, one, nobody was coaching him the way they needed to. Like I said, having a QB coach Coy Detmer Jr. is going to help so much. Just having a guy on the field every time Bryce comes off from a series or before he goes on for a series, having somebody there to hype you up, to praise you when you do good, to get after you when you're doing bad, to talk through everything. Even if you made a good play, but your mechanics were off and you didn't do it right, he's going to be able to talk to him about it. He's going to learn so much every game, all game long. It's going to be huge. Then you got Jason Beck and Kyle Whittingham also there to coach him up, teach him, make sure the offense is running the way it should. It's everyone's so focused on football, and that's just what you need. But anyway, he said, to me, when I watch a quarterback, if their feet are moving a lot, it kind of reflects how they're thinking, which means they're thinking fast. They're a little uncomfortable. So it's just a matter of getting the reps, getting the work so it all can slow down, which will naturally happen in your second year of college football. Anytime you get all those starts, that process is underway. But yeah, just reps, work, teach, develop. Let all of that slow down and get more comfortable, especially in the pocket. And he was talking about all the quarterbacks, but that is something Underwood needs to work on. His feet, his footwork, his pocket presence, trusting his line, stepping up in the pocket, finding the open receiver instead of dunking it down too quick, giving up too fast, having happy feet and just forcing balls. All that is going to be huge because there were times you could watch people break it down and receivers were open, but he didn't see them. And a lot of that is coaching and not helping him develop and progress. But now he's got experience, and now he's finally got a team around him that knows what they're doing, is going to focus on making him better and the team better. And it's fantastic. He also said, we do want to work with what he's comfortable doing. We don't need to reinvent the wheel and try to do some whole new mechanics or anything. What we want to work on, so we want to work within how he's comfortable naturally operating. Now just timing that footwork into his reads and his decision making. But when it comes down to it, if you have a good base and you can be set towards your target as you deliver the ball, that gives you a great chance to be accurate. We just want to build around those real fundamental things to line that footwork up with his reads and his decision making to allow him to be successful. And finally, what he talked about that I thought was really cool. Somebody near the end asked him about Savion Hyder, if he's had time to think about how much each player is going to play, how they're going to complement each other, how they're going to get them both involved. And first he talked about Savion Hyder and just said, hey, when this guy came in, you could tell right away that he had a ton of talent. But what he was most impressed with was his effort. He said that guy is just coming in and he's just working. He's just going to work. He's going full bore. He said a lot of freshmen come in, they're kind of hesitant, they're trying to figure things out, feel their way. He said not with Savion Hyder. He came in and he's hitting it hard. He's given 110% effort, and that was just really impressive. He said that's an amazing skill set for a freshman to have because you can improve and teach a lot of things, but that you can't really teach that effort. The fact that he already has that is with the talent is going to help him go far. And this is what he said that I loved. He said, if we have 2 or 3 running backs that are some of our best players, then we're going to say, hey, let's get 2 running backs down the field at the same time. Can you imagine Savion Hyder and Jordan Marshall in the backfield? What's the defense going to do? If Bryce Underwood is comfortable and they've got the RPO going and they've got him comfortable running or passing, you got to worry about, is he going to actually hand the ball off, or is he going to keep it and run, or is he going to keep it and pass to one of these great receivers that we got to cover now? Or are they going to give it to Jordan Marshall, who's going to knock us down because he's such a battering ram? Or are they going to give it to Savion Hyder, and he's going to outrun us with his blazing speed and his juke moves? I cannot. Is it football season yet? It was fantastic. I love hearing Jason Beck talk. I'm so excited about his offense. And I'm so excited about this offense, probably more than I have been. I can't even remember. Maybe in my whole Michigan fandom. Because probably I was excited when Rich Rod first came because I thought, oh, we're gonna open up the offense and we're gonna, still ground and pound, but we're gonna be explosive. Well, we lost the ground and pound and we were explosive, but we had no defense, and we got shut down by really good physical teams. And then under Jim Harbaugh, we were vanilla a lot of the times. The wide receiver screens, which is what we did under Lloyd Carr, and ground and pound, and we wore teams out, and it was okay. It was the Michigan way, but man, now hearing him talk and thinking about the weapons he has, I'm just so excited for this offense. I feel like finally Michigan offense is going to do what it's always done well, but it's going to expand and it's going to be able to beat you in more ways and be so exciting and fun to watch. Ooh, I can't wait. Remember his press conference, link down below if you want to hear him talk. Awesome dude, awesome coach. Michigan has just got such a great coaching staff. So excited. Breaking news, alert, awesomeness. Michigan and Kyle Whittingham have their first commitment for the recruiting class for next year. Their first official commitment since they started, took over and started recruiting and all of that stuff. And it's a player that I've talked about that I really like, and that is 4-star safety Daryl Madison from Chicago. He's been on their radar from the very beginning. He's visited, he's been high on Michigan, and now he is committed, and he's going to be a Michigan Wolverine. Yes, I'm excited. I think he's going to be a great fit for Michigan. And, sometimes you need that first domino to fall, and then they all start falling. So who's going to be next? He's got some connections to some of the other recruits they're talking about. Will they commit to Michigan now? Who knows? We'll see. But I'm excited about Daryl Madison. I think he's going to be great. And I'll talk about him more as time goes on. But Michigan finally got their first recruit, and I could not be more excited to have Daryl Madison in the maize and blue, baby. Welcome home, Daryl Madison, to the AA, to the University of Michigan. Now it's time for the question of the day results from yesterday. With all the news of the hiring and the front office explosion of hires and all that stuff that I talked about yesterday, I asked, who's your favorite front office hire so far? Is it GM Dave Pelican? Is it assistant GM Chris Petit? Is it director of player personnel Ron Bellamy? Or is it somebody else? Skylar Fan? One of the new hires that I mentioned yesterday, the plethora of them. Any of those? Well, the results are in, and here they are. As you can see here, the winner was Ron Bellamy. And man, this one's tough. I really like all the hires they did. I like a lot of the hires from yesterday. I really like Skylar Fan. I think she's going to be great. And I really love Chris Petit. I love his experience. It comes down to me, Dave Pelican and Ron Bellamy. I love that they brought back Ron Bellamy. I think that's huge for the consistency with the recruits and the receivers, and everybody loves him. And I think he's going to do a great job with families and recruits. And he's going to stabilize that, and he's just going to do a great job going forward because he's a fantastic recruiter and relationship builder. So he's right there, but I think my favorite is Dave Pelican just because I just think he is a stud. I think he's going to do an amazing job getting all of this organized, running the show, and I just love all his experience in so many different roles that he can teach to everyone under him, but also that he's done so much with the NIL, and he's so organized and smart and with contracts and everything, but he also knows how to find talent, and it's just going to be great. He knows the ways to work around the system to be able to get players in here that maybe we weren't able to, and maybe he will be someone that with his team can figure out how to get around the dang credits thing that screwed over us so many times trying to get upperclassmen to come in. But who knows? But I love all the hires, but I would say Dave Pelican just slightly is my favorite, but I do love the Ron Bellamy, so I get why that one is so exciting. But overall, fantastic hires. The coaching staff hires were great. The position coaches were great. The front office hires, like Kyle Whittingham is killing it, and I'm so excited. Thanks to everybody that voted. If you haven't voted on today's question of the day, head on over to the community tab and vote. That's going to do it for this episode of the Amazing Bluebeard podcast. Thanks for hanging out with me. Hope you had a good time. If this is your first time here and you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. We'd love to have you be a part of the community. And also, we're working towards 1,000 subs. When we get there, we're going to do a live celebration. I'm going to dye my beard maize and blue. So help us get closer. If you already have subscribed, please hit the like button. Consider hyping me up if you get that option. Both of those things help YouTube know that people are enjoying the content, and they'll push it out to more people so our community can continue to grow. And finally, please leave a comment. I respond to everyone, so I will see you down in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. And until I do, as always, Michigan fans, have a fantastic hump day. Join me tonight on the Heavy Hitters link in the description down below. 9 o'clock tonight. Join me on there and hang out with those guys and me as we talk some NFL and Michigan football. It's going to be a blast. But as always, until then, or in the next video, go Blue.